Hey guys, this is John Massey, and we're just going to talk about how to get MAMP up and running. A couple of quick and easy things that you need to do. I'm going to be using PHP, that's why I'm using MAMP. I use PHP in my environment currently, and yeah, so some other people that I work with are using it as well. So um, yeah, that's why I'm using it, and I'm also a little familiar with it already. Okay, so let's dig right in. So you visit the MAMP website. I think I've got it up for you here. No, here it is. It's gonna look something like this. This is the exact URL, MAMP info English index, and you're just gonna go ahead and click the download link. That's gonna come in. And that's going to download for you if you're using Chrome. You double click this guy, runs an installer, installs the application, and then away you go. But how do I use it? Okay, so when you fire up MAMP for the first time, you're going to see this little guy here. Typically, when you start up as well, it'll open up your start, what's called the start page. When you see these two green lights, you're good to go. You're running in the Apache server and the MySQL server. I haven't gotten into MAMP Pro, but yeah, maybe I'll check that out when I need to set up or configure multiple databases or something for some reason. But yeah, so that's that username. So we're gonna open the start page. Sorry, I'm kind of following my own directions here. Okay, and you're gonna get a page like this, pretty much exactly. You're gonna look right off the bat. It just looks, I don't know, what is this, you know? But it's actually quite helpful. You have in here you're gonna get the name of your local host. Local host, to just keep it simple. Your port number, your username and password to access the database. If you're gonna write a script that's going to talk to a database, you also get some SQL edit or MySQL database configuration in the PHPMyAdmin link. You can click in there, and you can start creating databases and managing them right there. I have one that I set up for myself already. That's in table here, and this guy info. This is a database that I kind of just started playing around with, making calls to a database, and I just made a couple of simple fields, first, last name, and each one has an ID that auto increments. So I'm going to show you what I've linked that up to later. Getting back to this guy here. Okay, so then you got to figure out, well, okay, great, I have this, but how do I put websites in? How do I run PHP out of that? Okay, it's great. I have this starting page, but what then? What you need to do is you go into your applications directory, okay, and you just kind of track down your MAMP folder. Mine's here, along with everything else. And inside of the MAMP directory, you have htdocs. Okay, I would get used to this right away. I mean, either when you're working in a public directory of some sort, htdocs is a common name for it. So just heads up. Double click in there, and pretty much just how I work it is I'll create a directory and I'll dump my site files into that, and then when I show you how to access them, it'll make a lot of sense. Okay, so let me just get that out of the way for now. Come back here. Drop in some HTML. Yep, showed you that. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to navigate to your files here. I'll just go to this one. It's the same deal. This is the my MAMP homepage. To navigate to your htdocs directory, basically you just delete this part of the URL up here. You keep localhost 888 / and just delete everything after that. And that's going to run you right into your htdocs directory. If I had an index.html, HTM, whatever, or default in here, it would have rendered that web page for me. But in this case, it's just pulling up my htdocs directory with some sites I have in here. So if I just click on one of them, it'll go ahead and load the site for me, and that's pretty much it. And you can just kind of navigate in and out of each one. Okay. One other thing I was just going to throw in here was that when you're working with PHP, we all know when we're working with Flash that we had trace statements and a nice compiler to sit there and kind of throw errors at us if something was wrong. And we need to rely on the server in this case to give us that feedback if something's wrong with our PHP or any of our scripts. By default, MAMP doesn't have these scripts turned on, okay, or these the error reporting turned on. But I'm just going to show you very quickly how to do that. So I moved back into my MAMP directory. We left off in my htdocs. Okay, so we're just looking at whatever folders I have built for my sites. I'm just gonna shoot back one directory back to the root of the MAMP application. This conf, short for config, directory within MAMP. You have PHP 5.2 and 5.3. At least that's what I have right now. And then this little php.ini file. Okay, so this is all like parts of the configuration for how PHP is being used on your server, and some of the features that are included in PHP. But you're going to shoot down to around line 277 and display errors, and you're going to turn that on. Okay, and then whenever your page displays an error, it'll actually render that and show you that error on the page, similar to what we're kind of used to working with, or what I've been formerly known to work with when dealing with writing scripts or something. It's just necessary to have that feedback if something goes wrong, or you have a typo, or you're calling a file the wrong way. Okay. One thing that I would recommend, that I read on a couple of forums, was that if this was live, okay, and if this was a live server, I would turn this off in my PHP ini file. Because when an error occurs, PHP is trying to help you out. It's just telling you, okay, this file, this location, in this directory, this far down is giving me this problem, and you should look into solving that. And that's great for us as developers for that feedback, but it's also private information. We should keep our directories as mysterious as possible to the public. In my opinion anyway, in case someone's trying to come in and map your directory and try to figure out where all your files are, trying to get at some of your user info, or trying to use your site to host malware, any just disaster. So that's just I don't know, just one little tip there. So alright, so with all of that, now I'm just gonna show you how I have this up and running, and I'm gonna try to give you a small test on what an error would look like with PHP. I don't think it's really necessary, but we're just gonna go ahead and do this here. Just get my bearings. 1 second. Okay, so here we are. Here's MAMP, and let's see. I've got my testing here. This is the simplest page I have in here. This is a PHP page. Basically, I'm just pulling some values from the database so we can see that the database is working. I'm using PHP to pull this information out of there and just stuff it in an ordered list using a loop. I'll show you the file here. Too many things open. Please excuse me. There we go. htdocs. Here's testing, and we're inside that folder here. And there's just this index.php file. Okay. I use Text Wrangler. That's what we used in the beginning. I've tried a couple of other simple text editors, and I've hated them. I've just grown to love this little thing. Code hinting would be nice, but until I find an application that's similar to this with some sort of code hinting and doesn't mess with my character encoding, the way that I've seen some others do, then that's great. Or maybe I just don't know how to use that software, but whatever, this is working. Here we're starting PHP, closing PHP. We've got the document header here for HTML. We're just echoing out using PHP. Then I've got a SQL call here. I'm new to this. This was just a test I was trying to play around with. Calling a result, MySQL, and then make a connection. Basically it's just a loop down here for while there's results to fetch. I echo a list and a list item here, and then I put in the name from the array, or the name entry from the list array, and the same thing for last name, and it generates that list. Okay. So if we just look at the page, this is what's being generated here. What's awesome about PHP 2 is that you don't see the code at all. Any of the PHP is all, it's just the server processes it before it ever gets to the browser, or to the client I should say. That's just pretty awesome. You don't have to worry about anyone seeing your stuff. And that's that. And I showed you the database. So this is the database back here. Here are all the same entries where this information is coming from. And that's it. Alright guys, thank you very much, and good luck.